Nigeria currently has the highest number of poor people in the world. With this very disturbing fact, would things turn around if an economist were the leader of this country? Mr. Tokbe Fasua obviously thinks so. You're watching Race for Asorok right here on Roots TV Nigeria. I am Gloria Oji Emodi. On this episode, we have a conversation with Mr. Fasua, who is the presidential candidate for the Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party. We'll be talking to him about his chances of becoming Nigeria's next president. Watch. Tokbe Kolade Fasua, born September 11, 1971, is a Nigerian businessman, economist and writer. Though regarded as an underdog in the 2019 general elections, Mr. Fasua believes his vast knowledge of economic matters qualifies him to be president. Welcome, Mr. Fasua.
Thank you very much, and it's great to be here.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's start with the basics. Why are you running for presidency and what are your plans for Nigeria?
I'm actually one of the few, if not the only, economist contesting for that position right now. We have a dearth of economics, at that level in this country. The current regime has no economists there. And however, the thing is not about who gets a degree in economics. It's about the way you think. But you'll be aided if you had studied economics in thinking in that way. We economists are wired to think in a very eclectic manner, to be very versatile.
I see.
Because you can't actually be a good economist except you understand a bit of sociology, psychology, and all of that.
Okay, so that's interesting. Another very prominent problem in Nigeria is security. You're an economist. What kind of experience do you bring into handling the security issues we have in this country?
I think the real issue then becomes, again, back to the way we think as economists, And so what that means is that in solving the security problem, the approach of an economist will say, what exactly is going on? Right? We're not going to, an economist will not rush to go and buy weapons like these guys do, no. Because the problem is not just about weaponry. And, as we sit here, a couple of months back, the president of this country went to the US and he gave Donald Trump, he gave them about $500 million in advance for 2 years for the supply of Tucano aircraft. And, the thing was it's such that if they decide not to supply, well, there's nothing you can do. Because we actually have no capacity to even defend ourselves as we speak, and that is not good enough. So an economist will be thinking, okay, what else could be responsible for that? What are the remote and near causes? For example, we've got a problem with unemployment, and when your youths are unemployed, the devil will find job for them, and that's what's going on. So I believe that one of the key ways of solving this problem is mass employment, even in that security sector.
Fasua was born and raised in Lagos. For his secondary school education, he attended Army Comprehensive High School in his hometown Akure in 1985, before he went further to study economics in Ondo State University. Fasua attended London Metropolitan University to gain master's degree in financial markets and derivatives in 2006. Harvard Business School, University of Groningen, Lone Star Academy, Texas are some of the academic institutions where Fasua has attended for executive programs. Currently, he is a fellow academic with his PhD in Public Policy and Administration in view at Walden University. This election feels like it's basically between the two main contenders, the incumbent president.
I don't know why people think so.
And well, this is what most people think. That bringing to my question.
But you're not most people. You're an opinion leader, you're an influencer.
Exactly, but
we need to put this idea out.
That is why I am having a conversation with you. I'm one of the few who want to talk to people like you and show Nigerians other options beyond, what they are looking at. So back to my question. This election feels like it's just between the incumbent and the former VP, Atiku Abubakar. What are your chances of A, winning, and B, making a significant impact in the electoral process in 2019?
Yeah, the first
what are your chances?
I've done quite a number of interviews. You're the first person who would actually ask the second question. Unfortunately, some Nigerians are thinking of the status quo and the status quo ante, right? So you see, some Nigerians are thinking the best they can have is to keep repeating this process or to go back to the process that created this current process. And what Nigeria does need now is a total cleanup of the entire shebang. What we need right now is a total departure from what that which we've known. According to Einstein, you don't solve a problem of tomorrow by using the same materials, the same tools, the same people who created the problem and the crisis. So I disagree with them. We don't need the status quo. We don't need the status quo ante. We need something fresh and new. And so, what are my chances of winning? There are two types of winning. The first type of winning is the one people usually think about. But if one thinks more philosophically and a little bit deeply, you realize that there's another type of winning. So the first winning is you go around the country, you beg people, they vote for you. Sometimes they don't even know why they're voting for you. They just vote for you, and then you find yourself sitting in some ASO villa. But we've seen that happen a number of times in this country, and we've seen that the results that we came out with. The people who get into those ASO villa and then they don't know what to do, and then they come and complain. Like the gentleman that's there now, all we've heard about is complain and blaming the other guy at every point in time. I still read Pat think something like that yesterday, just yesterday, and this is about 4 years into your regime, and you're still blaming the guy that came before, they did not do this. Come on. So that means that we now need to begin to think about a different kind of winning, and that is in terms of impact. You get into political office because you want to make a positive impact on your people. Right? That's what you do. If you want to be a senator, if you want to represent them well, you'll be a fraud. And of course, I know that we have a lot of frauds in the system. You'll be a fraud if you get in there and then you don't make that positive impact and it's all about you. Right? So for me, if you can make that impact, even before you get into that position, of office, right? Then you better make that impact. And that makes it very imperative for people like us to get involved immediately. We can't wait till 2023.
Interesting. Now, to break all of this down, are you saying that you don't really think you're going to become the president of this country come 2019? However, you believe, no, hold on. However, you believe that in running, you're able to change some people's minds about certain conversations. Is that what you're saying? No, we're not changing.
We're talking about changing Nigeria. We're talking about changing people's mind. If I became president, I'll be thinking of changing Nigeria immediately. But if I'm running as a candidate and I'm changing Nigeria, it's the same thing, isn't it?
On the 16th of December 2016, Dr. Fasua led a group of Nigerians to form a political party, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, ANRP. And on the 14th of December 2017, the party was finally announced a registered political party by INEC. ANRP under him has grown its membership base to about 53,000 as reported on the website on July 12, 2018.
So let's talk about, the election as it is right now, because I'm thinking to myself, crowdfunding, personal concerned citizens donations, using social media to campaign for funds. That's how you intend to, run. I mean, come on. I mean, some people say elections are expensive all across the world, not just Nigeria. So how are you even going to make that impact when you don't have that kind of money to even, get attention?
We tried to, we piloted the idea of crowdfunding a while back. Our party, ANRP, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, is actually the first party to actually put it right in the center and say, look, we're going to crowdfund this. But of course, you learn some quick lessons, right? A lot of Nigerians who joined us at that time were people who were disenchanted with the system. Most of them were really in financial distress. So if you tell them, bring 1 naira, oh my God, in fact, many of them come back to tell you, listen, I was in PDP before, and we're not asked to pay anything. You can see that those same parties were the ones that broke the system, and this is deliberate. So you create dependence out of our people. You reduce them to the level of slaves. When you give them 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, they mortgage the next 4 years for you. It's deliberate. So there's a need for a pushback, So how do we fund it? Yes, I mean, of course, you still have to reach out to your friends and family, whatever you can get. But hey, for me, I wouldn't have got involved in this race if I knew I didn't have enough to get me up to a certain level of impact. You're here today maybe because you've heard about me somewhere or seen me somewhere. That's part of the impact, you know what I mean? But what we're probably not going to be able to do is to visit every ward, every of the 10,000 wards in Nigeria, or every of the local governments, 774 local governments in Nigeria. What I've planned out is that at least the 36 state capitals will be touched, If people can come from some of the local governments in those places, fine.
So bringing me to an interesting question, because there are allegations that a lot of people who are running for this, running for, the presidency, the number of political parties that we have and the number of,
Right.
candidates that are, and we're already seeing some even aligning with certain top contenders as it is. There are allegations that some people are in this race so that at a critical point they're able to align and probably sell their votes or that. Is that a possibility here? Because you've already said you're about impact and you don't have a lot of money. So is that possible?
I'm sorry. I'm an equal opportunity. My kind of torpedo goes round. That's what my friends call me from my name anyway. So I'll be there. My campaign is not about excoriating people, but on issues where I can slam a Buhari, I slam him. When I can slam an Atiku, I slam him. We're not for sale, but we're for impact.
Fasua is the founder and CEO of Global Analytics Consulting Limited, an international consulting firm with its headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria. Fasua is married with 3 children.
I've thought about this. Now, we put a document in the space. If you look at the one that the PDP candidate put out.
So you're saying that the PDP plagiarized a bit of your work?
A bit, yes, it did. Actually, it used something like, I did something like a dashboard, right? Which I compared what I would do with what Buhari is doing now, and Atiku also did some sort of thing, but he didn't quite get it right, So he can't even, But again, he also is talking about 50 million. Now, I can actually say he plagiarized it because I did it first, even though I didn't put the copyright on it. He's talking about taking 50 million people out of poverty, 15% growth rate of the economy, bang on from mine, But of course, nobody has monopoly of ideas. But he couldn't explain it. In talking about 15% growth, he's also talking about low inflation. No, you can't achieve a double-digit growth at that level with single-digit inflation. It won't work.
So it's safe to say.
If there's massive growth in this economy and everybody has business to do, right, and everybody is so busy and making money and the economy is growing and you can see the development on the streets and there are cranes everywhere, buildings are being built and so on, certainly there's going to be a double-digit inflation. So what I always tell people is, from my position as an economist, we should pursue growth at the expense of inflation. All right, it's better we're growing and inflation is in the double digit, maybe 15%, and interest rate may still remain high at 20% or something, but you are growing. What we have right now is 1.5% growth in inflation, right? I mean, in the economy, in GDP, 1.5% growth, inflation at double digits at 11.24% or more. Especially food inflation is much higher at about 15%, and then interest rate in the bank is in about 30%. That's a recipe for disaster, and that's why we're in this disaster today. So what we need to do is to ramp up on growth, and that's where we are.
The president's policy document is at the next level. Atiku's policy document is "Let's make Nigeria work again." We've got Moghalu saying it is time, and Ezekwesili says "Fight for Nigeria." What's yours called?
Revolution of ideas.
Revolution.
It's a revolution. That's what I'm about. I think maybe you can read it somewhere there or the other. But it's about revolution of ideas. See, I realize that what we need is a revolution in Nigeria. Between me and you, what this country needs is a revolution. If we're lucky, let's keep it bloodless, right? We keep it bloodless. Let's torpedo them with our ideas, and that's why we're here. The reason why Atiku and Buhari are bringing out documents of their own is because we put them on the spot. We made it into an ideas thing this time around. I put my manifesto's been out since 6 months ago or more, and it's detailed.
Where can people find that?
Oh, it's right there on my website. It's everywhere. I could actually send it to you on WhatsApp.
So tell us your website.
Tokefasua.com. Simple. You can find it at tokefasua.com. I've got 2. You can also find it at tokefasua2019.com.
Just in 1 minute, tell the Nigerian voter why Fasua?
Yeah, why me? Because I'm the one I'm actually the only candidate with the best interest of this country at heart. And I'm thinking about the majority of the people. I'm not elitist. I'm the one that has thought about this country's issues more than any. I've written about it, I've talked about it, I'm taking it forward, I know where this country should be going. They should listen to the vision that I'm espousing. And it is that vision, the vision of a better life, improved dignity for the people of this country. And that's what we're saying. They should listen very carefully to everything I've said. They should try and do their research and see that I'm the one that will take this country to the next level. I thank them for doing that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fasua, for taking our time to talk to us. This was awesome.
Dr. Fasua is also a prolific writer, having authored several books including Things to Do Before Your Career Disappears and A Change Will Come. Fasua has authored numerous columns on newspapers and, according to him, has written more than 1,000 articles. Nigeria obviously has a lot of problems, but having listened to Mr. Fasua, do you agree that an economist will do better in handling the affairs of this country? What are your thoughts about his policy document, Revolution of Ideas? Share your thoughts with us on the comment section of this video or via our social media platforms. You've been watching Race for Asorok here on Roots TV Nigeria. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page or visit our website, www.rootstv.ng. On behalf of my camera crew, Morufa Detunji and Busayo Tosin, I'm Gloria Oji Emode.